This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Alright, and welcome to the GSMC Sports Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. And as always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. Alright, it's Thursday, March 22nd. Here's how the show's going to go. First up, first segment, we're starting off with the Cavs and Raptors game. Then we're going to move over to Charlotte, talk about Dwight's 30-30 game. Going to talk a bit about Dwight Howard, all right? Those are going to be the two games we talk about for this segment. Second segment, we'll be talking about all the other games that were played, talk about all the pretty much like the secondary stories of the games from yesterday, all right? You know, LeBron's big game. That's one thing we need to talk about, and same with Dwight Howard. Love him or hate him, dude's a first-ballot Hall of Famer, and there's no doubt about it. So we'll be doing that for the first two segments. Third segment, we'll be talking NFL news. Jason Pierre-Paul got traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How does that help the Buccaneers, and what does that do for the Giants as far as their plans for the draft and all that? So that's what we'll be doing. Fourth segment, Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted out that the Spurs had like a players-only meeting to pretty much try and get Kawhi to come back from his injury or from, I don't know, I guess just trying to get him to come back already. So I'll give my thoughts on that. Danny Green tweeted saying that it was false, but that might just be Danny Green saying, you know what, yeah, it did happen, but we're going to act like it didn't. So I'm going to tweet out, it didn't. All right, so talking about all that. There's March Madness going on tonight. I made my picks already this week, but I'll make them again just to refresh, and then we'll be talking about anything else going on in sports and making my picks for tonight's NBA games, which is Thursdays. All right, so let's get into it. First up, we had the Toronto Raptors facing off with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland won this one 132-129. I think Cleveland was down like 79-64 at the end of the first half. This team does not play defense whatsoever, let me tell you. All right, and that's one thing that's kind of keeping me from like getting on that Cleveland bandwagon, the defense. I don't understand like how you make it to the finals playing no defense. It just doesn't work for me there. But either way, Cavs won this one 132-129. For the Cavs, you got Jeff Green with 15 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, shot 4 of 9, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Kevin Love had 23 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 8 of 15, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. He's played pretty well since he's gotten back. Jose Calderon got the start in this one. 14 points, 4 assists, shot 5 of 7, 4 of 4 from the three-point line. George Hill had 22 points, 3 rebounds, shot 10 of 11, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. Then LeBron James with the monster game here. 35 points, 17 assists, 7 rebounds, shot 11 of 19, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. No turnovers. All right, people were going absolutely crazy yesterday because of the game LeBron had. All right, dude's in year 15, and he's just unstoppable right now. We'll talk more about him right now. But either way, you got Ante Zizic off the bench with 6 points. 1 rebound, shot 2 of 3. Jordan Clarkson had only 4 points in this one, shot 2 of 7, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. And then you had J.R. Smith with 10 points, 5 rebounds, shot 4 of 6 from the field, and 2 of 3 from the three-point line. For the Raptors, you had Serge Ibaka with 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 2 of 8, 0 of 4 from the three-point line. Jonas Valanciunas had 15 points, 8 rebounds, shot 6 of 6. Kyle Lowry had 24 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 7 of 10, 6 of 9 from the three-point line. DeMar DeRozan played in this one. I didn't think he was going to since he missed the game before, which was a back-to-back. The first part of a back-to-back. But either way, he played, had 21 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 15, 0 of 3 from the three-point line. And off the bench, you had Fred VanVleet with 16 points, 5 assists, shot 6 of 13, 4 of 9 from the three-point line. And then Darrell Wright with 12 points, 5 assists, shot 4 of 6, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. All right. I was watching the second half of this game, and I mean, it was back and forth, all right? Both teams were playing well, and it's more so just LeBron just turned into LeBron, all right? It's like games like this is what's going to take the Cavs to the finals, all right? Performances like this. And I'm not sure LeBron could do this every night, but nonetheless, I mean, the dude was a monster yesterday. And I called it yesterday too, I believe. All right, I was saying how if the Raptors lose, people are going to question them. Are they really the best team in the East? Or are they just the same team? And that's exactly what happened. All right. I'm searching through Twitter and all that after the game, and it's people like questioning the Raptors, saying that, oh, it's the Cavs conference now. we switch up way too much as far as sports opinions. All right. Yes, this was a big game by LeBron. Yes, this was a big win for the Cavs. Yes, this is probably one that the Raptors would have wanted to win. But let's not forget when, what is it, a month ago I think it was, the Raptors blew out the Cavs by 32. All right? And people say, oh, Kevin Love was playing that one. I don't even remember if that's before or after Kevin Love got hurt. But either way, it doesn't matter. So the Cavs didn't win this one because of Kevin Love. All right? This is just one regular season game. This has no effect on how well the Raptors do in the playoffs or how well the Cavs do in the playoffs. That's all completely separate from this. All right? Just because the Cavs win this one doesn't mean they're better than the Raptors by any means, because they're not. The Cavs still don't play defense. Are you telling me that the Cavs are going to be able to go out and put 130 plus every game? Because that's what they're going to have to do if they want to make it all the way to the finals. This team doesn't play defense, all right? Let's not forget the fact they still gave up 129. Okay? Yes, defense means something, people. It does. And again, I think the Cavs can make a run. I'm not saying they won't, but we got to pump the brakes as far as crowning them Eastern Conference champs already. All right? The Raptors are still by far the best team in that conference. Cavs probably a little bit better than Boston right now, but Boston's still the second seed. All right, but even then, so I mean, if the Cavs were to play a team like the Pacers in the first round, that'd be a little bit dangerous for the Cavs. That's one I wouldn't think, oh yeah, Cavs got this one for sure. Even playing a team like Philly. Philly's a team that could go out and surprise people. All right, so as far as this whole Cavs best team in the East, Raptors, same old Raptors, this is one regular season game. It means nothing. All right, but of course, people are going to go run off with it saying, oh yeah, LeBron, they're going to the finals and all that. And honestly, I was talking with Tate before I started the show. Asked me, is there any team in the East that could get a game or two against the Rockets or Warriors in the finals? It's the Celtics and Raptors. All right, the Cavs, since they play no defense, aren't going to be able to keep up with a fast-paced offense like that. All right, this is the truth. Think about it. If you're a Cavs fan, I know it probably hurts to see, but it's true. Celtics would be able to get a game just on defense alone right there. I'm not saying the Celtics would get two or win a series or anything like that, but I think they could get a game. And the Raptors are the best all-around team in the East right now, so I think they could get a couple games too. But either way, it's a big win by the Cavs. All right, this is good for them right here. They're going to be getting a bunch of their players back. Rodney Hood's still injured. Larry Nance has been out. Tristan Thompson's been out, but Tristan Thompson really hasn't been much of a factor this season. Maybe when he comes back, he'll be able to be a little producer off the bench. All right, Larry Nance, I think when he comes back, he should have Kevin Love playing the 5 or Larry Nance playing the 5. Either way, they both should be in the starting lineup. All right, I like the whole... You're probably going to take Jeff Green out too. Let's see. Oh, you could play George Hill. Because you got Kyle Korver who's out here. If I get all those guys back, I think I'd go... I don't know. You probably have to go George Hill, Kyle Korver, LeBron, Nance, and Love, I guess. But I'd try to figure out a way to keep Jeff Green in the lineup because he's been playing extremely well this season. Dude's been flying under the radar. No one's really been talking about him, I guess, just because it's Jeff Green. But that's probably been their most consistent bench producer, I feel. Unless I'm just completely wrong. But either way, I mean, if it was up to me, I'd have it LeBron, Korver, Green, Love, or Nance, then Love. All right? Have LeBron just run point and have George Hill come off the bench. But then again, you got Rodney Hood and Jordan Clarkson. It's going to be tough to find them all spots on the floor at the same time. But either way, that's what I do. All right. So like I said, big win for the Cavs here. Let's pump the brakes a bit as far as crowning them Eastern Conference champs. All right. Raptors still the best team in the East. It's not close. It's just one bad loss. Not even a bad loss. They lost by 3. All right. They were up big in the first half, but nonetheless, Cavs did well to come back, and LeBron, best player in the league by far still. All right. But there's another player who played extremely well, and we're going to talk about his game right now. All right. So the Charlotte Hornets went into Brooklyn and beat the Nets 111-105. For the Hornets, you had Marvin Williams with 0 points, 0 for 6 shooting, 0 of 3 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had 9 points, 4 rebounds, shot 2 of 5. Kemba Walker had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, shot 6 of 25, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. Jeremy Lamb's been playing really well so far. 17 points, 7 rebounds, shot 8 of 13, 1 of 2 from the three-point line. And then the center, Dwight Howard, monster game. All right, probably best performance of the year by anyone, honestly. Had 32 points, 30 rebounds, shot 10 to 17. I'm looking at the stat sheet right now. It is very odd and just kind of mind-blowing for me to be looking at it at the rebound column. It has 30 rebounds there. All right, 30 rebounds from Dwight Howard. We'll talk more about his performance right now. You have Frank Kaminsky off the bench with 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 10, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Malik Monk played 17 minutes in this one, shot 1 of 7, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, 5 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Not great. And then for the Nets, you had DeMarre Carroll with 11 points, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 14, 1 of 8 from the three-point line. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson had 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 5 of 13. D'Angelo Russell had 19 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 7 of 17, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Allen Crabbe only 9 points in this one, 5 rebounds. And then off the bench, you had Spencer Dinwiddie with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 4 of 7. And then Caris LeVert with 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 6 of 15, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. All right, let's go back to Dwight. Like I said, 32 points, 30 rebounds. All right. I think the last person to do that was Kevin Love, and there's only been 8. Like before or after Wilt Chamberlain, there's only been like 8, or there's been 8 players to do it, including Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain did it like a bunch of times, I guess like 50-something times. I think Wilt Chamberlain had 30 for 30 games, but let's be honest here. All right, Wilt Chamberlain was playing, I think, before they had goaltending and all that stuff. Wilt Chamberlain was playing in the dark ages of the NBA, so Wilt was good, but I don't know. Hot take, was he better than Dwight Howard? Who knows? All right. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to stir some stuff up, but either way, Dwight Howard, big game here. All right, and Dwight Howard, like, people hate Dwight Howard. Like, they absolutely do not like Dwight Howard. I think Dwight Howard, other than LeBron, is probably the most disliked person in the NBA right now. All right? And he might, like, just be, like, he might actually just be the most hated person in the NBA because he's universally hated by all the fans. Me, I don't hate Dwight Howard. I like Dwight Howard. All right, LeBron's got his fans and all that. Dwight Howard, I feel like, has no fans besides the people like me, and I wouldn't even consider myself a fan of Dwight Howard. I just don't hate the guy. All right? But, I mean, the dude goes out. He's in his, 14th, 13th season? I think it's his 14th season because he came in 2004, LeBron 2003. That's math. All right, but either way, yeah, Dwight Howard's like in his 14th season, I think it is. And, like, the guy, honestly, this might be a hot take here too. I mean, Dwight Howard has never really been bad. All right, and like I said, that's a hot take right there. I mean, the whole thing with the Lakers, that just wasn't a fit. That was never going to work out from the jump. All right, bringing in Steve Nash, all those guys, Dwight Howard, that just wasn't going to work. All right, because Dwight Howard at the time was someone who was the number one guy on the team. All right, he needed the ball in his hands. He needed not the ball in his hands, but you needed to feed him. All right, he needed to be the primary guy, and you know you're not going to be that with Kobe on the team. That just wasn't going to work out at all. All right, and I know Lakers fans wanted Chris Paul and all that, but with Dwight Howard, that just simply wasn't going to work. I don't think we could blame Dwight Howard on that more so than, I mean, it just wasn't a good fit. All right, that was more so the Lakers trying to bring the stars into town. All right, trying to sell tickets and all that. Someone had to have known that, yeah, this isn't going to work. Kobe's not the guy that's going to give the ball to Dwight down in the post. Kobe's the guy that's going to go out and get his own shot. All right. Now, Chris Paul would have worked there because Chris Paul's going to have the ball in his hands more so, and he's not opposed to giving the ball to a guy like Kobe to get his assists up. All right, but the whole Dwight Howard and LA thing was never going to work out from the start. We all should have knew that. And as far as Dwight with the Rockets, I mean, Dwight played pretty well there, I think. Obviously, like, there's locker room stuff that just didn't work out, but Dwight was a pretty decent player for that team. Pretty good. And Dwight Howard with the Hawks and Dwight Howard with the Hornets has been very good this season. No one's just been paying attention. All right, people dismiss Dwight like he's some bad player. He's not. He can still play, dare I say, for a contender. All right? Dwight Howard is still a very good center in this league. He's top, dare I say, top 5? I might need to go through team like I always do and see if I can name 5 centers better than Dwight Howard. And we're going to do that right now. All right, so let's see. Let's go to the Atlantic Division, the East. We got Boston. I don't know. Would I take Dwight Howard over Al Horford? Al Horford does a lot more than Dwight Howard, but I like my centers pretty much getting boards and getting points. So I think if I was starting a team, I don't know. That's tough. I think I'm going to go with Dwight Howard over Al Horford. All right, Brooklyn, no one better. Porzingis plays the 4. I'll take Embiid over, so that's 1. All right, Valanciunas, I'll take Dwight. And again, you can disagree with me. I just could be completely wrong. Chicago, no one there. Cleveland, no. I'll take Dwight over Tristan Thompson. Kevin Love's not a center. You can't convince me otherwise. Andre Drummond. I'll take Drummond over Dwight. I would take Miles Turner over Dwight. All right, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't even know if I can see. I don't even think he's a center. He's like a 3 guard, which is weird because the dude's 7 feet tall. All right, let's see. Miami. I'll take Dwight over Whiteside. I'll take him over anyone on the Magic and the Wizards. Let's see who else we got going on. Let's see, then the Pacific Division. I'll take him over Zaza, that's for sure. DeAndre, I'll take DeAndre over Dwight. That's 4 players already. Lakers, no. Suns, no. Kings, no. Dallas, no. I'll take Dwight over Capella, even though Capella's been very good this season. I'll take Dwight over Gasol in Memphis. Anthony Davis, is that a 4 or is that a 5? I'm going to consider Davis a 4. All right, Spurs, Aldridge been playing. He's been playing the 4. All right, Denver, you got Jokic. I'll take Jokic over Dwight. So there's 5 centers. Towns, that's 6. All right. Gobert, that's 7. So Dwight's a top 10 center in the league right now. And he's like 8, 9, somewhere around there. There are some people that passed up, like Al Horford or guys like, who else? Whiteside, that you could argue. But like I said, he's either way, that still makes him top 10. So Dwight's still a top 10 center in the league, all right? And I've been seeing too, people saying, oh yeah, Dwight's a first ballot Hall of Famer. People are questioning that. Dwight is for sure a first ballot Hall of Famer. If you don't think he is, you're just wrong. That's all it is, all right? Dwight is without a doubt a first ballot Hall of Famer. All right, let's not forget the fact that he took that Magic team to the finals to lose, 4-2 against the Lakers, 4-1, something like that. Either way, at one point, was one of the best players in the league. All right, and people got to get past the fact that they hate him so much. The dude is a Hall of Famer whether you believe it or not. Like, your opinion on it just really doesn't matter because it's a fact. The dude is a Hall of Famer, first ballot, no doubt. All right, it's just facts. All right, so I had to be a little bit of a Dwight Howard defender. I guess I've taken I'm the leader of the Dwight Howard and Eli Manning armies, all right? Eli Manning, without a doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer, no question. Dwight Howard, same thing. I'm all right. I will be the captain of those ships, no doubt, because I know I'm going to be right. So let's either you jump on the ship with me or you can just watch it happen and be wrong. So that's all I got to say about that. Next up, we're going to talk about all the other games from the NBA, the secondary games, the ones that really didn't have the stories, but either way, we'll be talking about those. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for the very best NFL and college football podcast? Then check out the GSMC Football Podcast. Get the latest football news both on and off the field. From the NFL Draft to trades to the rumor mill to the NFL Combines. They got you covered. That's GSMCpodcast.com/football-podcast. Get updates on college rivalries, game day insights, and much, much more. It's football talk the way you want it. This show eats, sleeps, and breathes football. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
And welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. In that first segment, we spent it talking about only 2 games in the NBA last night. We talked about the Cavs Raptors, and we talked about Dwight Howard's big game against the Nets. All right. For this segment, we're going to go over all the other games that happened because, we got to give them some attention too. So let's get into it. All right. So we had the Memphis Grizzlies facing off with the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, in Philly. Philly won this one 119-105. For Memphis, you had JaMychal Green with 14 points, 7 rebounds, shot 5 of 10, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Dillon Brooks, 14 points, shot 6 of 9, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Marc Gasol had 5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, only shot 2 of 8. Andrew Harrison, 1 of 4 from the field, only 16 minutes played, 2 points. Off the bench, you had Mario Chalmers with 10 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Ben McLemore, only 5 points in this one, shot 2 of 10. And then Wayne Selden had 18 points, 4 assists, 5 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. For the Philadelphia 76ers, you had Dario Saric with 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 5 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Robert Covington had 15 points, 2 rebounds, shot 6 of 9, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. I swear it feels like Robert Covington and Dario Saric always have identical stat lines. Like it's a point off or it's a shot off or whatever, but they always have near identical stat lines. It's crazy. All right, Joel Embiid, he had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 4 of 10, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Ben Simmons had 13 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, shot 6 of 9 from the field. J.J. Redick had 15 points, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 9, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. And then off the bench, you had Marco Bellinelli, who's been playing extremely well with the 76ers. He had 15 points, 2 assists, shot 6 of 10, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. All right, business as usual for the 76ers, beating teams they're supposed to. Business as usual for the Memphis Grizzlies, losing to teams they're supposed to. All right, Grizzlies, congrats. You might be getting DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter, or Marvin Bagley. Sixers, congrats. You're going to be making the playoffs. Might even be playing the Cavs. Who knows if you get a game or two there. Or even knock them off in the series in the first round. Who knows? But either way, I mean, this game both worked out for both teams here. All right, for the next game, we have the New York Knicks facing off with the Miami Heat. Knicks played so bad in this one, Udonis Haslem got some minutes, all right? The Miami Heat won this one 119-98. Michael Beasley had 22 points, 7 rebounds, 10 of 15 shooting, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Get that guy to a contender right now, all right? Michael Beasley's a good player. Whether you like to hear it or not, Michael Beasley has been lights out for the Knicks this season. All right, you had Tim Hardaway Jr. with 12 points, 3 rebounds, shot 5 of 15, 1 of 8 from the three-point line. Enes Kanter been having a big year so far. 23 points, 13 rebounds, shot 8 of 13 from the field. Emmanuel Mudiay had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 3 of 10 from the field. Courtney Lee had 5 points, 3 assists, shot 2 of 7, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. All right, Kyle O'Quinn had 6 points off the bench. You had Frank Ntilikina, 20 minutes played, 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, 3 points, 2 assists. Trey Burke, he had 16 points, 7 rebounds, shot 6 of 11, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. For Miami, you had Josh Richardson with 12 points, 5 assists, shot 5 of 6, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Bam Adebayo had 6 points, 2 rebounds, shot 3 of 4 in 13 minutes. Goran Dragic had 14 points, 5 assists, shot 5 of 11. No threes hit in this one. Tyler Johnson had 22 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, shot 9 of 13, 4 of 6 from the three-point line. Good old Kelly Olynyk had 22 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 8 of 11, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Justice Winslow, he had 15 points, shot 6 of 14, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. And you had Wayne Ellington, who's been shooting the ball very well this season from the three-point line. Had 16 points, 4 rebounds, shot 6 of 12, 4 of 7 from the three-point line. And like I said, Udonis Haslem, he played 5 minutes in this one, no points, no field goals. Hit, went 0 of 2, 0 of 1 from the three-point line, all right? I want to talk about the Knicks for a second. The Knicks very well might have something going, all right? And again, like I think it's just wishful thinking here. But look at it this way, all right? Hear me out. So you got Michael Beasley, okay? Michael Beasley's been playing really well, and this is tough because he kind of does play. Actually, it might work, all right? So yeah, let me get into it. You got Michael Beasley, been playing very well this season. You can't dispute that. Go check the numbers. He's been playing well. Plays on a bad team, so it's not really going to translate to wins and losses there, but nonetheless, he's been playing well. All right? You got Enes Kanter. Dude's been averaging a double-double this season, been a monster for the Knicks, all right? If they extended him, would not be opposed to it. He's been a great player for them. You got Tim Hardaway Jr. signed to a long-term deal, big money. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Okay. You got Kristaps Porzingis. Again, blew out his knee. I think it was a knee or his Achilles. I think it was his knee. Blew out his knee. Probably won't be back till mid next season, if not the season after that. All right. Those are 4 good pieces there. Okay. I truly think Michael Beasley is a good player now. All right. Looks like he's got his head on straight. Looks like he's ready to go and ball. Okay, now hear me out here. If they add a Trae Young or even a Colin Sexton, this team could that could be a playoff team. All right. Obviously, there's this whole thing with the bench that you got to fix up. You can just make Ntilikina the backup point guard, Emmanuel Mudiay, and trade Ntilikina. But either way, and add a couple more pieces to the bench, the Knicks might have something here. All right, get rid of Courtney Lee. All right, you could keep Kyle O'Quinn. You have your choice at Ntilikina or Mudiay. But you draft Trae Young, who I think could be a good point guard in this league, but there needs to be pieces around him. All right, he can't go to a team and he needs to be like the franchise changing, like the savior of that franchise. All right, that's not Trae Young. Trae Young's a little team specifically like the Knicks, all right, where they got pieces there already. You got the Porzingises, you got Beasley, you got Hardaway, and you got Kanter. You throw Trae Young there, all right, nice little facilitator, can distribute the ball well, pretty much control the tempo, play well as a point guard. That's good right there. All right, even Colin Sexton, who plays well. All right, kind of like De'Aaron Fox on that team. All right, the Knicks get one of those guys, playoff team possibly, will at least be competing for the playoffs, I think. All right, at least for an 8th seed. I'm not saying they're going to go out and be a top 4 team or anything like that, but the Knicks don't seem far off as we actually think. All right, and again, I know it's Michael Beasley. No one's really going to take him serious or anything like that, but if you've been paying attention, he's been playing well, game in, game out, shooting the ball well too. As for the Heat, I mean, nothing new here. Business as usual. Just trying to sharpen up that little playoff seeding you got going on right now. I think to the 7th seed. Probably trying to catch Philly for that 6th spot. So we'll see if they do. But as for the next game, we got the Denver Nuggets facing off with the Chicago Bulls, and Denver won this one 135-102. Paul Millsap had 22 points, 8 rebounds, shot 8 of 9, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. Wilson Chandler, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 6 of 9, 5 of 7 from the three-point line. Will Barton had 16 points, shot 7 of 9. He had 3 rebounds, 5 assists. Nikola Jokic had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 9 of 11, 2 of 2 from the three-point line. Jamal Murray had 16 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shot 5 of 14. 3 of 6 from the three-point line. No Gary Harris in this one again. Off the bench, you had Trey Lyles with 10 points, 6 rebounds, shot 4 of 10, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. You had Mason Plumlee with 4 points, shot 2 of 2 in this one. And then Devin Harris with 14 points, 5 assists, shot 5 of 8, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. Devin Harris has been like the most under-the-radar player in the history of the NBA, I feel. All right, the dude, remember when he was with the Nets playing extremely well, was a great player on that team. And ever since then, pretty much just flown on the radar, played for a bunch of different, not even a bunch of different teams. I think he went from like the Nets to the Mavericks, was with them for a while, and then now he's on the Nuggets. But either way, dude's, he's done his career right, all right? Played well when he's needed, gets paid, doesn't have to do much, doesn't need to be the guy. That's the way you got to do it, all right? I'm jealous of all these old veterans in the league who are pretty much there to be a locker room presence, to help out the young guys, all right? You're not there to play. Like Nick Collison on the Thunder. Nick Collison, I think, has played like 13 years, 14 years. He's played some absurd amount of years. All right, anything over 10 for a guy like that is absurd. I think he was with the Sonics at one point. All right, dude's been around for so long, does not play. All right, I think this is last year, but nonetheless, he gets paid to sit on the bench and pretty much just be a team player. That's it. All right, that's oh my gosh, it's like the backup quarterback in the NFL playing under like a Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady. You're never going to be needed, but you're going to get paid a decent amount of money just to hold the clipboard and walk around. All right, just jealous of those jobs. All right, for the Bulls, though, you had Denzel Valentine with 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 8 from the three-point line. Cameron Artis-Payne, 11 points, 6 assists, shot 4 of 7, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Justin Holiday, 3-point shot, 1 of 5, 1 of 4 from the three-point line, not great. All right, Bobby Portis, 15 points, 8 rebounds, shot 5 of 11, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. And you had Jerry Grant with 10 points, 7 assists, 3 of 7 shooting there. All right, once again, the Denver Nuggets won that one, 135-102. All right, and I'm just stuck on that whole end of the bench guy. All right, already made your money. Now you get to relax, go on team flights, team planes, team dinners, all that. Pretty much enjoy it all and just relax the entire season. I mean, must be the greatest job in the world. All right, then you had the Clippers facing off with the Bucks. Said the Clippers needed to win it. Didn't think they would, but they did. They won 127-120. For the Clippers, you had Wesley Johnson with 7 points, 6 rebounds, shot 2 of 9. Tobias Harris had 18 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 6 of 14, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. DeAndre Jordan had 25 points, 22 rebounds, shot 9 of 13. If Dwight Howard didn't have the 30-30 game, we would have been talking about DeAndre Jordan. Milos Teodosic had 15 points, 4 assists, shot 5 of 8, 4 of 5 from the three-point line. Austin Rivers had 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, shot 8 of 17, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. Montrezl Harrell had 13 points, 3 rebounds, shot 6 of 10. And then you had Lou Williams with 19 points, 8 assists, shot 6 of 11, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. All right, for the Bucks, you had Giannis Antetokounmpo with 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Played only 17 minutes in this one. Not sure if he got hurt, but nonetheless, I mean, looked like he had to have gotten hurt he had to have gotten hurt. There's no way you just play 17 minutes. All right, but Chris Middleton had 23 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 9 of 17, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. John Henson had 10 points, 7 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe had 19 points, 8 assists, shot 7 of 15, 1 of 4 from the three-point line. Jason Terry got the start in this one. Wow. 6 points, 2 assists, shot 2 of 6 from the field. All of those came from the three-point line. Jabari Parker, who's been playing well since he came back from injury, 20 points, 6 rebounds, shot 9 of 15. Insert him into the starting lineup already. What are we waiting for? And then Shabazz Muhammad had 12 points, 4 rebounds, shot 6 of 8 from the field in that one. All right, once again, the Clippers won this one, 127-120. Big win for the Clips here, right here. All right, big win. Okay, needed this one. Couldn't afford to lose another one. They probably could have, but it would have made it a whole lot harder to make it back into the top 8 of the Western Conference and see what the standings are looking like right now. All right, the Bucks are probably the 8th seed right now, probably a game and a half back of the Miami Heat. Let's double check that also as we're checking the West. So yeah, the Bucks are a game and a half back of the Heat. Good call by me there. Let's see what else we got going on. Ooh, Detroit's only 5 games back of the Bucks. Maybe we might have something going there. Let's see. Yeah, so you got the Clippers are currently 2 games back of the Utah Jazz still. So the Clippers still got to be winning these games. Still got to pretty much chip away at it and hope Utah goes on a little bit of a losing team. And so do the Nuggets, because right now the Nuggets are a game and a half back of the Jazz. All right, so for the next game, we have the Indiana Pacers facing off with the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Pelicans won this one 96-92 for Indiana, I should say. You had Thaddeus Young with only 9 points, 10 rebounds, shot 3 of 12, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Not a great night from him. Bojan Bogdanovic had 9 points, 3 rebounds, shot 4 of 10, 1 of 3 from the three-point line. Miles Turner struggled with this one, 4 of 15 from the field, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Darren Collison had 11 points, 6 assists, shot 4 of 11, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Victor Oladipo, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 7 of 16, 3 of 7 from the three-point line. And then for the Pelicans, you had Anthony Davis with 28 points, 13 rebounds, 9 of 14 shooting there. Etwan Moore had 23 points, 3 rebounds, shot 10 of 15, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Emeka Okafor only played 9 minutes in this one, 0 of 4 from the field, 2 rebounds. Rajon Rondo, 1 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from the three-point line, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 points. Drew Holiday had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 4 of 10. And then off the bench, you had Nikolai Mirotic with 15 points, 6 rebounds, shot 6 of 16 from the field, 2 of 9 from the three-point line. Big win by the Pelicans. I called it, said they'd win, and they did. Did not let me down. Shout out to them. 5 seed right now, half game back of the Thunder for that 4 spot. Really be beneficial for them if they did get that 4 spot, so you got home court advantage in that first round. As for the final game of the night, you had the Washington Wizards facing off with the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs won this one 98-90. All right, you had Markieff Morris for the Wizards with only 5 points in this one, 3 rebounds, shot 2 of 6. Otto Porter only had 12 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 5 of 13, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. Bradley Beal had 21 points, 9 of 13 shooting, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. Tomas Satoransky, poor shooting night from him, put up the goose egg. 0 of 8 from the field, no points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Off the bench, you had Kelly Oubre Jr. with 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 9 of 17, 3 of 6 from the three-point line. You had Mahimi with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 4 of 8 from the field. For the Spurs, you had LaMarcus Aldridge with 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 12 of 23 from the field, 0 of 2 from the three-point line. Kyle Anderson had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, shot 7 of 8. Patty Mills, I think, has been struggling all year, I feel. He had 7 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, shot 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 8 from the three-point line. Dejounte Murray had 9 points, 10 rebounds, shot 4 of 6, 1 of 1 from the three-point line. And then Danny Green, who's also struggled, I feel, this year. 7 points, 4 rebounds, shot 3 of 10, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. All right, nice little win by the Spurs. We're going to talk about them more in the fourth segment, so let's get to wrap it up for this one. Next up, we're going to be talking NFL news, pretty much talking about anything else going on, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Check out the show that's built on the MMA. From the UFC to extreme cage fighting, they got the fights covered. Check out the GSMC MMA podcast. Get the latest news on past or upcoming fights. Join us as we talk to and about some of the biggest names in the MMA, past, present, and future. When it's the fight game, there's just one show to check out. GSMCpodcast.com/MMA-podcast. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit GSMCpodcast.com for more info.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. Just like yesterday, we spent the first 2 segments on the basketball games going on last night. All right, first segment, we talked about Dwight Howard's big game and LeBron's big game. All right, talked about pump the brakes a bit on taking away the crown from the Raptors. Again, it's a metaphorical crown, but either way, they're still the top team in the East. That's not up for debate either. It's not. All right, second segment, we did all the other games going on. This segment, we're going to go into some NFL news. All right, obviously, the free agency started last week. It's been pretty slow since then, all right? Need Ndamukong Suh to sign somewhere so we could finally have something else to talk about. But, I mean, the Giants traded away Jason Pierre-Paul, all right, to the Bucks. Gave up Pierre-Paul for 2 picks. I believe it's a 3rd this year. I think it should be a 3rd this year and a 4th this year also. All right, so yeah, gave up 3rd and 4th for Jason Pierre-Paul. I mean, for the Giants, you got Olivier Vernon. I'm not sure who they have on the other side, but either way, I mean, I'm thinking unless they're set on the defensive end side of the ball, and pretty much Jason Pierre-Paul was expendable, because I think he was expensive too. So maybe it's just like pretty much good. Yeah, he signed a 4-year, $62 million deal last season. All right. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why trying to get rid of big money. But either way, if they aren't set at the defensive end position now that they got rid of Pierre-Paul, then I wouldn't be surprised as far as them going after a guy like Bradley Chubb. And you had Louis Riddick from ESPN saying today that Bradley Chubb is a better prospect than Myles Garrett. Let's pump the brakes a bit. All right, let's pump the brakes. Like, really? Is that what we're doing today? Myles Garrett, really? Myles Garrett played extremely well with Cleveland last season. All right, no one talked about it because that team was too busy losing games. But Myles Garrett was pretty good for the Browns last season. All right, but come on, really? Bradley Chubb a better prospect than Myles Garrett? I mean, it's ESPN. I guess that's what we're doing now, trying to create stories, but that's not the case at all. Louis Riddick usually does have some smart opinions, and I do follow him. Like I said, he has some smart opinions, but sometimes he just throws stuff out on the wall and hope it sticks. But yeah, come on now. Bradley Chubb, better prospect than Myles Garrett? No. All right? Bradley Chubb is best defensive lineman in this draft, no doubt. But he's not a better prospect than Myles Garrett was. Myles Garrett was a man-child. All right? I mean, the dude is like 6-something. He could be a star in the NBA. He'd be LeBron in the NBA. And I'm only over-exaggerating a lot, but you get what I'm getting at. All right? Just the whole, I get like Bradley Chubb's gonna be really good and stuff like that, but come on now, let's not do this whole thing where he's a better prospect than Myles Garrett. Let's not try and create fake stories like how we did with the whole LeBron James could hypothetically take a meeting with the Golden State Warriors. All right, I still haven't forgot about that. Still not over that. I mean, that was the ultimate, like, I don't even know what they were thinking there. That was just to create stories there, and that was still such a garbage post they put it out. But either way, Pierre-Paul is going to the Bucks. Much needed defensive line help. All right, you're gonna have Gerald McCoy, Pierre-Paul on the D line. You got solid linebackers. You got Levante David out there still. Still got to fix up the secondary now. Secondary was brutal, almost as bad as Oakland's. But I like what the Bucks are doing right now. I like they're trying to at least make moves. They're trying to get better. All right, they're trying to fix up the defense, and that's a big contract to give to a guy like that. But nonetheless, I mean, Pierre-Paul still played pretty well, even though he had that little accident with his finger. Still played pretty well, and I think the Bucks could possibly. I don't want to say the Bucks could take the next step because I'm not really sure what the next step is. If it's not just like, that might just be making the playoffs, but that could be a team that contends for the playoffs. Really need Jameis Winston. It's all down to him. Obviously, you got to get the defense better because without a defense, you're not going to do much. But Jameis Winston has to figure out how to limit the turnovers. All right. He needs to be a smarter quarterback. That's all it is. Jameis Winston has all the tools to be a top quarterback in this league. All right, I'm not saying he is by any means, so don't come yelling at me. I'm saying he has all the tools to become one. All right, if he limits the turnovers, then he can become one. All right, Jameis Winston is very good, better than Marcus Mariota, and I've thought that since Jameis Winston was in college. I've always been a Jameis Winston fan, but either way, I mean, the dude's got to limit his turnovers somehow, some way. You can't be going out there pretty much about to take a sack and then you throw the ball up in the air and hope someone catches it and hope it's not the defensive back, linebacker, whoever's out there. All right, we'll not forget that one play where the Buccaneers were in the red zone. Jameis Winston's going down, about to get sacked, and he's he's sideways. He's like pretty much sideways. Throws the ball up. It's an interception, but lucky enough, there was a penalty called on the play on whoever it was they were playing against, and there was no interception there. All right, but like I said, I mean, Tampa Bay, they got it tough, all right? Anyone in the NFC, honestly, has it tough, okay? Tampa Bay has to play against Drew Brees, Cam Newton, and Matt Ryan. Those teams all made the playoffs last season, all right? And it's going to be tough for the Buccaneers pretty much. Like, the Buccaneers, in order for them to make the playoffs, they need Jameis Winston to have a monster year. They need him to have that breakout year where it's like Jameis Winston has arrived. Here he is, top quarterback in the league. All right, he has to have that year in order for them to make the playoffs this season. All right, because right now the Saints are a top 4 team in the NFC in that little area with the Vikings, Rams, and Eagles. All right, I think they're going to be winning the division. Carolina, that's a team where if Cam Newton is out there just doing his thing, they're a playoff team too. With the Falcons, they pretty much struggled last season, so they gotta hope if Steve Sarkisian learns how to call an offense and learns how to utilize a Julio Jones, as weird as that may sound, because of the fact that it doesn't seem hard to utilize a guy like Julio Jones on the offense. But nonetheless, it seemed like it was for Steve Sarkisian. I'll never forgive the Falcons too. It was against the Bucks. All right, my semifinals of my fantasy football league, money on the line, and all I need is 6.5 points from Julio Jones. Gets me 5.7, I think, in the first half. I don't think he got a catch in the second half. One of the worst losses I've ever had in fantasy football. And I don't even want to talk about it because I'm getting frustrated about it again. But either way, yeah, like I said, I mean, the Bucks, it's tough for them. All right, so let's pick my division winners right now. I said the Eagles in the East. I'll go Minnesota in the North. South, I'll go New Orleans. West, I'll go LA. All right, there's only 2 wildcard spots left. In the East, you're going to have Dallas competing for one. Giants, possibly. All right, that's 2 teams. Detroit, Green Bay, obviously. That's 4. And you got Seattle, the Rams. That's 6. All right, Tampa Bay, that's 6 teams you got to compete against. Well, actually, in the Panthers and Falcons, that's like 8 teams, whatever. I don't even know how many I just counted, whatever. But either way, all right, Tampa Bay has a lot of teams they're going to have to compete with. So Tampa Bay needs to be pretty much playing their best football all year long. There's like the NFC, that's going to be very interesting. That's probably the toughest to predict who's making the playoffs and who's not, all right? Because there's so many good teams. Washington and the Bears are probably the teams who are going to struggle this year. I don't even think the Bears are really going to truly struggle. I think Washington might be the worst team in the NFC, but if Alex Smith plays well and has the year he did last year, I mean, Washington would be a team very well that's playing well there too. All right, and obviously there's going to be a couple of teams out here that we think are going to play well that are just completely crash out and just bomb off the season. But, I mean, as of right now, this NFC looks extremely tough, and for a team like Tampa Bay, I mean, they got to get it together soon and fast. Because if not, if Tampa Bay didn't make the playoffs this year and struggle, Dirk Cutter's going to lose his job. Almost lost it this year. I think if John Gruden, because I think there was reports coming out that John Gruden was deciding between the Bucs and the Raiders, and that if John Gruden decided, pretty much that's what the Bucs were waiting for. They were going to get rid of Cutter if Gruden's like, yeah, I'll come back to coach you guys. All right, but sure enough, he chose the Raiders, and after that, the Bucs like, all right, we're going to keep you for another year. All right, like I said, if this team doesn't improve, at least from last season, which was like a terrible season, did not play well at all. If they don't improve, then Cutter's losing his job right there. All right, so that's pretty much what's going on in the NFL right now. Like I said, for the Giants, I mean, kind of curious to see what their plans are in the draft. Are they going to go for a Bradley Chubb, or are they going to go for a quarterback? All right, I think they were at Sam Darnold's pro day, and Sam Darnold, the ultimate move here. All right, it's raining, pouring rain in LA. What does Sam Darnold do? Let's move it to the indoors? No, let's throw outside. And the dude had a monster pro day. Played extremely well, I saw. All right, making all the good throws, no problem with the rain. And that's one thing, too. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard about Sam Darnold is, can he play in bad weather? Believe it or not, yes, I know California does have the best weather out of everyone, all right? And there's no disputing that. Florida's humid, as humid as it can get, so California is easily the best. All right, California is the best state as it is, but it's a conversation for a different podcast. Really getting back to it, I don't get the fact that just because he plays in California, he can't play in bad weather. It gets cold out here, believe it or not. Okay, believe it or not, it's not always mid-70s sunny out here. Okay, sometimes it rains. Believe it or not, in some parts of California, it snows. That's crazy to think about, but it does. All right. So this whole part about Sam Darnold not being able to play in bad weather is just ridiculous. It's just, I do not get it whatsoever. And again, I know it's LA, so most of the time they have good weather, but I'm sure somehow, some way in high school, whatever, Sam Darnold has played in the rain before or something like that, some type of bad weather condition. Snow, probably not so much, but rain, something, wind, whatever. Yes, he has. All right. He has. There's no doubt. So the whole, can Sam Darnold play in bad weather? I guess we kind of put that away, put that to rest right here with the whole having his pro day in the rain. All right, I don't get it. I don't get what some of the stuff these people come up with. All right, with Josh Rosen, one of the bad knocks about him, Josh Rosen thinks for himself. He's not a football. He's not just a show up to work, keep quiet type of guy. Oh wow, Josh Rosen, he has a mind of his own. Crazy. Yeah, I know that's not very well liked by the fans or people in the NFL, but believe it or not, it's actually a good thing rather than a bad thing, all right? I can't stand the fans who are like, oh, we pay your salaries, do stuff on your own time. It's just very frustrating to hear and see. But either way, I mean, Sam Darnold played well. What's going to happen with the Giants? Are they going to take Barkley? They're going to take Chubb? Or are they going to take a quarterback? I think they should take a quarterback, but I don't think they will because they like Eli Manning that much, I guess, which makes no sense. And again, I like Eli Manning too. I'm part of the Eli Manning first ballot Hall of Famer club. I'm the captain of that ship, but I think the Giants would be making a mistake by not taking a quarterback round one. All right, because you're not going to have a pick like this high enough in order to have the same opportunity. Because the Giants, I think, are going to be not a very good team, but they're going to be a better team than what they were last season. So I say take advantage of what you got now. If not, it's going to be tough when Eli's gone. But that's all I got to say about that. Next up, we're going to be talking about anything else going on in the world of sports. Talking about Kawhi. Talking about the Spurs having a little players only meeting about trying to get him to come back. Danny Green said that wasn't true, but Adrian Wojnarowski usually does not lie. So we'll talk about that. We got March Madness going on tonight. Going to make my picks for tonight's game once again, and we'll be making my picks for tonight's NBA games, along with talking about anything else that crosses my mind as far as sports goes. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Alright, and welcome back to the GSMC Sports Podcast. So far today, we've talked NBA, we've talked NFL news, and as we always do for this fourth segment, we talk about whatever else is going on in the world of sports. Alright, turns out Manchester United terminated Zlatan Ibrahimovic's contract, and he's going to go be playing for LA Galaxy. That's going to be very fun. I will be heading to a San Jose Earthquakes game when the Galaxy come down to play them. Alright, kind of been waiting for Sacramento to get that MLS team so they can be in the MLS. I'd go to games there definitely since I'm living out here already, but it's taking a while, alright? Looked like Sacramento was supposed to get an MLS team, but eventually didn't work out, and it doesn't make sense because I see teams like Cincinnati don't have their stadium plans set up or anything like that. Like it's been just taking a hit there. Sacramento already has like plans for the stadium. Like they're already ready to go. I think they just need to I don't know what's the problem with Sacramento. I haven't looked too much into it, but it seemed like Sacramento had everything ready to go, and I don't know. Maybe it's just not a flashy place, but they got the fans, all of that. They sell out. I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. But either way, Ibrahimovic going to LA. It's going to be fun. We're going to see how well he plays in the MLS. All right, he came off of an torn ACL injury with Manchester United. Didn't really play much this year, but I feel like in the MLS, the dude's just going to dominate. All right, the dude's like a freak of nature. There's been like really, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Like, we don't really talk about him as far as comparing him to this, like, anymore, I guess you could say, compare him to, like, the Suarez's or anything like that. But, like, he's like, it's weird. He's created, like, this own level for him. It's like you can, like, how they say, you can only go up, all right? And at the very top, there's Messi and Ronaldo. But it's like Ibrahimovic is like, I don't know, it makes no sense. Like, it's kind of like he's gone to the side. Like, he's in his own little thing, all right? He doesn't go up or down. He's just in his own level, if that makes any sense whatsoever, all right? And that's just more so that his ego has pretty much made me think this way. But I don't know. It's crazy to think. But either way, nice little move for MLS. Going to be fun. Speaking of MLS, they're going to be facing Juventus in the 2018 All-Star Game in Atlanta. That's going to be a sold-out game, no doubt about it. It's going to be a fun little atmosphere, all right? Juventus, one of the more historic teams in Europe, one of the best teams in Europe, knocked off Tottenham in the Champions League. What was it? Round of 16, I think it was, or was it I think round of 16? Tottenham blew that one, but either way, Juventus, that's a top club right there. So, like I said, Ibrahimovic going to LA, MLS All-Star is going to be playing Juventus in the 2018 All-Star Game at Atlanta. At Atlanta's new stadium, actually, the Falcons one, for those that don't know. They've sold out that stadium a couple of times, that soccer team. I think they have like four of the top 5 highest ever attendances in MLS history. They've only been around since last year. So I didn't really think that Atlanta, like I wasn't really sure like Atlanta has soccer fans or anything like that. Usually it's more of a Falcons type city and all that. But nonetheless, I mean, they've been selling out, putting butts in the seats since they've been there. So good on them. But either way, that's one thing going on in soccer right now. Champions League didn't start up till April, I think it is. So we're going to have to wait for that. What else we got going on today? Oh, yeah, we can talk about the Spurs, all right? Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN tweeted out that the Spurs had a players-only meeting, pretty much just trying to get Kawhi to come back and play. All right, so that was reported out. Then Danny Green comes out and says that's completely false or something like that. And is it weird or bad that I'm more inclined to believe more than I am Danny Green? I feel like Woj has always been that guy. He doesn't, like, he's always right. He always tweets out the facts. I don't think he's ever been wrong once. Except for that one time where he tweeted out the Hawks were going to be signing Al Horford back, and then like a half hour later he goes to the Celtics. So I guess maybe, yeah, Woj can be wrong, but he's hitting like 900, all right, if it was a baseball average. Like something absurd. He does not get many stuff wrong. All right, so I mean, with that, Danny Green saying that, yeah, it's false. I mean, I'm more so thinking that Danny Green's trying to keep things in-house because it was a players-only meeting too, so he's trying to keep things more in-house, not trying to pretty much let that get out. So, I mean, someone could go tweet something about me that could be true, like, oh, Jesse is the host of the GSMC basketball podcast. I could tweet that's completely false, but, you know, it's true. All right, I think that's what this is right there. I think Woj is right, and I think Danny Green is more so just trying to keep things quiet. So I'm going to believe Woj here. So let's act like the Spurs did call a players-only meeting to try and get Kawhi back to come play. That's hilarious. Like, what does that say about the Spurs? I mean, it doesn't make sense either. Again, this is all just hypotheticals right here. Obviously, with Danny Green saying it was false, now we'll never know if it was true or not. But either way, if it was true, I mean, that's like the Spurs saying, we need you. Or they're like telling him, like, dude, it's all in your head. You're fine. Come help. All right, come play. And I think that's more so what it is there. I feel like Kawhi Leonard, I don't know. It's kind of weird with his injury. It's like the whole Markelle Fultz thing. All right? Markelle Fultz is a little bit weirder because like he's got some other stuff. Like the dude just forgot. Like I said, I always say like the Monstars took his talent like how they did in Space Jam for Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and all those guys. But But either way, I mean, I don't know. This is a weird little situation they got going on. If they did call that meeting to have Kawhi come back, it's got to be, because if Kawhi's actually hurt, then you don't call that meeting. But if you think Kawhi is fine, and you think more so it's just him being scared, or he's just milking the injury, or he's just like, it's all in his head, then that's why you call the meeting. All right? You don't have a guy tell a guy, come back and play for us when you know he's injured. You just don't do that. All right? So kind of curious to see what we got going on over here in San Antonio. All right? It's been kind of a weird year in sports. You got the New England Patriots, who pretty much had some controversy going on with ESPN reporting that there was tension between Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, and now you got Spurs. They've been a little bit more in the news than you'd usually like for them to be, all right? But either way, that's all I want to say about that. All right, listen to this little story I saw on ESPN. Some fan of Tiger Woods sent Tiger Woods' doctor a thank you gift, and we should all do that, all right? Tiger Woods, when he's out there, it's good for golf, okay? When Tiger Woods isn't out there, I'm not even thinking twice to go and watch whatever tournament's going on, all right? I don't want to go watch Jordan Spieth. I don't want to watch Bubba Watson. All right, I don't want to watch anyone else. I don't want to watch Rory McIlroy. I could care less about golf when they're out there and Tiger Woods isn't. When Tiger Woods is out there, I'm all for it. All right, I'm flipping between channels. I'm seeing, what's Tiger doing right here? All right, but other than that, I mean, golf is just, once Tiger officially retires, golf is just going to be done. It's done. No one's going to watch it whatsoever. All right, I saw the ratings for this last tournament he was playing in the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I think ratings went up like 134% compared to last year because Tiger Woods was out there. All right, you got people saying, "Oh, the ratings aren't up because of Tiger." Don't be naive. The ratings are up because of Tiger. If you say the ratings aren't up because of Tiger, you're just a hater. That's all it is. All right, but either way, that's one thing to mention there. Anything else going on right now? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it going on in the world of sports. It's been a pretty slow news week, but either way, we got March Madness going on tonight. As you know, if you remember, I've been making my picks all week for tonight's games. I got Loyola Chicago beating Nevada, Michigan beating Texas A&M, Kentucky beating Kansas State, and then Gonzaga beating Florida State. I think Florida State and Gonzaga is going to be the best game of the night, but either way, I got Gonzaga winning that one. Gonzaga has yet to be to a Final Four, kind of like that team where, I don't know, there's no team like them, I guess, as far as them making it into, like, just pretty much like on the outside looking in always. But either way, I don't think it's going to happen this year because they're going to have to play a team like Duke or West Virginia or whatever. I have to double check who they'd be playing if they won or whatever. But either way, let's see what else we got going on. We got NBA games from tonight, so let's make those picks. Let's get into it right now. All right, I think we got a couple of good ones tonight, or it might just be a little bad slate. Grizzlies Hornets, that's a bad game. Sixers Magic, bad game. Rockets Pistons, bad game. Lakers Pelicans, not a close game. Not going to be a good. Ooh, we do have some bad games going on tonight. No real. I'm going to get every pick right. I'm calling my shot now. All right, so you will be hearing me bragging about it. So we got the Grizzlies facing off with the Hornets. Charlotte's favored by 8.5. Dwight Howard, 32-point, 30-rebound game. Big game from him last night. Things gonna have another good game here. Obviously not 30-30 game. If he did, that'd be ridiculous. But either way, I'm going with the Hornets in this one. Then we got the Philadelphia 76ers facing off with the Orlando Magic. All right, I got Philly winning this one. Magic are a bad team, 14-20 at home. Philly 17-19 on the road. Those records don't matter because Philly's going to win this one. Then we got the Pistons facing off with the Rockets. All right, Rockets are favored by 12.5. I mean, there's no reason to pick the Pistons. Not really a good team. Rockets a very good team, so I got the Rockets winning this one. Then we got the LA Lakers facing off with the New Orleans Pelicans. I'm going to go with the Pelicans. They're only favored by 2 in this one, which is kind of surprising. I mean, I feel like we'd given a little bit more respect to the Pelicans. Like, the Lakers have been playing well, but either way, I'm going with the Pelicans in this one. I think they're going to pull it out. Then we got the Jazz facing off with the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Jazz, who'd they have a bad loss to? They had a bad to the Hawks the other day. They lost to the Hawks. Jazz can't be losing games like this. They got to win them. So I'm going to go with the Jazz in this one, but they really need to step up. Let's see. And then for the final game, we get the Hawks facing off with the Kings. I always say it, but I might try and make my way to this game. Yeah, I don't know. I should make my way to this game. We'll see. Either way, though, like I said, we got the Hawks facing off with the Kings. I'm going to go with the Kings in this one. The Kings are a nice little solid team. Like the way they've been playing. So, yeah, I got the Kings winning this one. All right, don't think I have any upset picks going on tonight. It's all pretty cut and clear, pretty easy picks. All right, yeah, so no upset picks tonight. I got the Hornets over the Grizzlies, Sixers over the Magic, Rockets over the Pistons, Pelicans over the Lakers, and the Jazz over the Mavericks, and then, like I said, the Kings over the Hawks. So that's going to wrap it up for today's podcast, today's show, I should say. Today we talked about the NBA in the first 2 segments, talked about some NFL news in the third. Fourth segment, what did we do? We talked Tiger Woods' fan sending his doctor a gift, getting Tiger healthy. We talked about Kawhi Leonard, the Spurs, calling a players-only meeting about it. Not sure if it's true, but it's fun to talk about. Let's see, what else did we... Dwight Howard, going to be actually suspended for tonight's game. All right, picked a botanical in the win against Brooklyn. That was his 16th of the year, so he's got a suspension tonight. Do I still want the Hornets over the Grizzlies? I do. All right. Do I? I think I'm going to go with the Hornets. I'm not going to switch up. So, like I said, this segment, we made my picks for tonight's NCAA games. Talked about the Spurs. What else we talk about? Talked about Zlatan Ibrahimovic going to the LA Galaxy. That's going to be fun to watch there. So, thanks for listening to the GSMC Sports Podcast. As always, I am your host, Jesse Tapia. We'll be back tomorrow, so stay tuned, and we will talk to you later.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.